Hey you guys, it's Amelia, and today's video is of me riding my horse Gatsby in the Prix St. George, and I'm going to talk you through kind of what I'm thinking during the test, and then also include for you guys the scores that the judge gave me and her comments. So this was actually a really interesting exercise for me. And often, even after a show, it's like you get your score and either you're happy or sad, and you look at the test quickly once over, and then you completely forget about it. But in doing this video actually, and like watching each movement and having to write down like what the judge's score was and what her comments were, it actually gave me a lot of insight into my test and into the things that I need to be working on. So this would be a great exercise for all of you guys. I'm sure most of you probably aren't at the Prix St. George yet, but judges are very educated. They go through a lot of training before they're allowed to become a judge. And so if you really study their marks and their comments, you can get a lot of insight into your training and things that you need to work on. So, looking at where your low scores are, looking at the symmetry left and right. Like I noticed from this test with my horse Gatsby, he does much better in the left bending. So like in the left half passes and the left pirouettes, all of those were higher marks than in the right bending. So I need to focus a little more on the right bending. I also really noticed that I neglect working on my halts. So I need to work on that. So this would be a great exercise for you guys. The next time you have a show, have someone video it and then go through and really watch the ride and study it and start to educate yourself, educate your eye, figure out why the judge commented the way they did, why you received the mark that you received. And it's easy to just get the test and get your score and then forget about really studying it, but studying it can help you a lot. So I hope that this is helpful for you. Gatsby is 7 this year, and he's doing great. I'm really happy with how he's doing. For a 7-year-old doing the Prix St. George, I think he's doing super, and certainly there's a lot that I still need to work on and clean up for the years to come. So good luck. I hope you guys enjoy this one, and please don't forget to comment and like, and also subscribe to my email list. So I'm starting an email list, and you guys will receive like written columns about dressage and training and just things to think about. It's just another great way to keep educating yourself and learning, which is what it's all about. So I hope this is helpful, and don't forget to sign up for my email list. I'll put the link below. Thanks, guys. Okay, so to start the Prix St. George, you want to pick up the canter and then get a nice straight entry. So I always try to go a little bit wide so that I get a long straight entry onto the center line. Try to keep your eyes up looking at the letter C, and then X halt. You can see that really wasn't the best halt. He kind of buckled on that left hind and then stepped backwards. So ideally we'd like him to step a little bit closer together, and because of that I got a 6.5, and the judge said that it was wide behind. I'm going to keep putting the marks that the judge gave in the bottom corner. Okay, so then track right, and then you have a medium trot across the diagonal, and that was a nice effort from him, but I just tried to get him straight and then let the trot get bigger, and keep it really rhythmic and uphill. Next you have your shoulder in from F to B, and again you want to maintain a nice steady angle, keeping him off of my inside leg into the outside rein. And B, 8-meter circle, so make sure that you don't go to the center line. You've got to stay 2 meters to the inside of the center line, and then right into a left half pass. So the circle is a great setup for your half pass. It gets you your bend, and you should be able to flow right into that left half pass. Now you have an extended trot, so same thing, get your horse straight on the diagonal, and then really let that trot cover the ground. And then in the corner, bring them back. You also get a transition score for that extended trot.
for how well your transitions were forward and back from the extended trot. Now you have shoulder in right to E, and then at E, 8-meter circle to the right. And again, I'm showing a nice clear bending. I'm making sure that it's an 8-meter circle so I don't go all the way to the center line. And then I blend that right into a right half pass. And the judge was a little critical in that right half pass of the bending. He was a little tilted. So when your horse gets tilted in the half pass, you need to kind of supple the reins a little bit, like a little flexion inside and a little half halt on the outside rein, because often it's that they're against your outside rein. That's what causes the tilt. Okay, so now I have my walk and my first walk pirouette to the left. That was a very good walk pirouette. It was small. He stayed active and rhythmic behind. He had bend. This one, the judge said, was a bit more sideways. I think it was still a pretty good walk pirouette, but you see how I pushed the haunches maybe a little bit too much to the inside. And then you also get a score for your collected walk. And then now you have your extended walk on the short diagonal. And in the extended walk, you want to let your reins out, but you still want to keep a little contact. And he should poke his nose a little more out. The judge commented that for a higher mark, he needed to poke his nose just a little bit more out. So now I gather up my reins, and then I have my canter transition at K. And you see it started out really nice, and then for some reason he got a little too much under and swapped behind. So that hurt my mark there. Now you have your half pass from F to X. So again, show nice bending. Get him over. Now you have to straighten him, bend right, and then make a flying change to the right, and then half pass back over to the rail and make a flying change at M. So that little zigzag, everything comes up really fast. You have to make sure at the beginning that your first half pass is steep enough. Now I have my pirouette left. So you see I'm going on that line. I'm getting him shoulder 4, collecting, then turning, and then riding out. And that was a really nice pirouette. You know, for a 7-year-old horse doing the Prix St. George, that was nice. Your flying change at C, and then your pirouette to the right. So same thing. I'm going on that line. I'm collecting him back. I'm getting him shoulder 4 that he sits and then turns. And always try to look back at the letter, like turn your body and look back to M, and that'll help you get there. Your flying change at C. And then you go right into your 4 tempies. So you've got to quickly get ready and start those 4 tempies. 5 4 tempies on the diagonal. Keep your horse as straight as you can. Make sure that you don't pull on the inside rein in your changes. Those were pretty good. And now you have your 3 tempies. So use your corners and your short side between these 2 lines of changes to get everything set up and ready again. And then start with your next changes. And then again, your corners and your short sides are super important in the FEI. You have to really use them to get prepared for the next movement. Now I have my extended canter. Really want to go for it. Show ground cover and length of stride, and then collect before the end, and my flying change, and then up the center line to my halt. Nice straight center line, getting ready and preparing that halt.